Hi beauties, today we're gonna do a brown smoky eye, and I really want to go full glam. I'm going in with my e.l.f. camo concealer to prime my eyelids. I'm gonna use this brush, patting it around our eye. For my transition shade, I'm gonna be using my bronzer, and this is the color 33 from Morphe. Our crease, so packing it on first. Towards the beginning, I like to really push the color into my brow and the beginning of my nose. You really want to build it up at least 2 to 3 times so you could get that actual rich color. You could start winging it out a little bit. For the next shades, I'm going to be using this Essence bronzer palette. We're going to be deepening up with these 2 shades. I'm taking a packer brush. Now I'm just patting this directly into my crease. You want to really build up that color, so you want to, again, go in as many times into the palette. So you're basically making a C shape like this while you're tapping on your lid. And you want to keep this right in your crease because we're going to add a darker color on top of our lid. With your first brush, and you're going to start to slowly diffuse the edges. The Morphe 25A. And we're going to use this dark brown shade, and we're going to put this all over the lid. I'm using the same packer brush. So now you just want to lay this right in the center. So this is our second time, and we're going to pack it on. Winging it out a little bit with the darker color. The inner corner, we're going to be mixing this, and we're just putting it in the inner corner. And I'm using an M506 brush from Morphe. It's just a small dense brush, and all you're doing is just packing it on in the inner corner for some brightness. And that is it for the top of the eye. I'm using the Jelly Grip Primer from Essence. I'm mixing both of my NARS shades, spreading it all over with a paintbrush. I'm going to be using a Real Techniques brush to just pattern it into my skin. I really do like that Essence primer because it does leave a really nice glow. I'm not going to use a color corrector today, so I'm going to put the foundation all the way up into my under eyes. And the Morphe Sudden Heat Bronzer Sticks, and this is the shade Spark. So I like to put my bronzer high so I look more lifted, as you can see, and I like to align it with the top of my ear. In this Mang brush. As you can see, my skin is very hydrated and glowy. That's why it's super important to do a proper skincare, especially if you're going to be using a lot of powders like I do. All that hydration is going to help with all the powders that we're going to use. So it's very important that you take care of your skin and use a proper skin prep. The bottom of the nose, and I like to put it on the sides of the nostrils like that. And then we're going to go up. You can see that eyeshadow just helps shape it even more. And with a red blush, and I'm using the Cloudtopia lip and cheek mousse, the same Mang brush. With very pigmented blushes, that's why I like to do my concealer last. Going with the Too Faced Born This Way Vanilla. This one I'm using in the outer parts. I'm gonna go in with the shade Swan. Put in this one directly underneath. Now my concealer with the foundation brush. I'm blending out the edges first and then lifting it up. Going in, add a little bit of the light ivory just in the center. I'm gonna wait at least 30 seconds and then we're gonna blend it out. The same brush, if you remember, that we used to prime our lid with the concealer. Now that everything is blended, we're gonna get into powders. I'm going to be using the Mercier translucent powder and Essence Brighten Up powder. So I'm going to be mixing the two. We are using a powder puff. Dip it into the essence. Up some of the Mercier. All creasing is blended before you set, or it's going to crease even more. Now we're going straight in. A really bright under eye. I literally use this with any other powder that I want to use and it'll brighten it up. Powder the whole nose area. The rest of the face I use the Mercier by itself. So I'm using my favorite bronzer, which I'm going to use till I have none left. Dual-ended brush. And I'm using the brush sideways like this. Adding some on the temple as well. I'm using a deep potted Juvias Place. Using a fluffy brush. I'm going to bake with the dermablend. I'm just placing this under the eye. Under eye, and for the under eye we're going to use the LA Girl gel eyeliner in jet black. This is the type of brush I am using. It's so cute. I'm taking an M8302 and I'm using the Smokey palette, using the black. I pack it on and then tap it off. This really close to our lower lash line. I'm gonna take this small detailed brush, M383, back into the Essence palette, and we're gonna use both of these shades to diffuse out the black. And I'm just going side to side, diffusing the edges, and you could connect it up. I'm going in with this brighter shade. I'm just placing this one lower, just so it looks like a little ombre underneath. I'm taking a fluffy brush, gonna press and dust off the bake. Again, and highlight the inner corner. These are the lashes I'm going to use. For mascara, I'm using the LA Colors. I'm gonna brighten my under eye just a little bit more with the same essence in my brush. Lips, I'm using the NYX in color brown. The inner of my lip, I'm using Ruby Woo. Let's add a little bit of highlighter on my cheeks, and this is the Ofra highlighter.